Welcome into All Things LA Real Estate. My name is PK Knoll, and I am running point on this channel. This is your Glendale August real estate update. We're going to get into everything that's important. Basically, what it comes down to is I'm all about the numbers. I'm a finance. That is my main attribute when it comes to the real estate game. So I'm going to break down everything you need to know. Glendale is a great little spot. Sits just north of downtown, just west of Pasadena. I guess technically it's a valley, but I consider the valley more of those west regions. I think it's kind of more of its own entity. Glendale, Galleria, right in the heart of things. Great mall out there. So we're going to get into the current numbers, what's going on out in Glendale. We're going to look at some month-over-month statistics. We'll look at some year-over-year statistics. And at the end of the video, we're going to get into homes that have caught my eye, where I give you the entry level, the top end, and try and find you a home of value in this very tough real estate market that we're dealing with. We just had another rate hike by Jerome Powell and the Fed, maybe another one looming. Certainly going to be sitting at these rates for a very long time, at least the next 4, 6, 12 months. So we'll see how all that shakes out. So you should be looking for value if you're getting into the market. So let's see what's happening in Glendale. All right, so as most areas in all of Los Angeles and frankly the country, we are dealing with inventory issues. Most of that comes from 80% of people having rates in the 4 and 5 or lower, some even in the 3s. So you're not going to sell your home and jump into a 7% interest rate, which is hurting the inventory. Glendale's actually been pretty solid the past couple months, been able to keep the deals up, keep some homes on the market. So right now we got 48 homes available for sale. But of those 48 homes available for sale, we've actually seen 12 of those homes do price drops. That's 25%. Typically, in a normal, healthy market, a price drop is a red flag. In this market, it is not necessarily, right? Because there's just not enough buyer demand. There's not enough people who are able to afford a home at a 7% interest rate. And if the seller's got to move, if a seller wants to move off the property, has to relocate, whatever the situation is, they get a little bit more desperate once they get up into those 60, 70 days on market range, and they start to lower the price. Maybe some were mispriced. That's something that we're seeing consistently out in the market right now. People are looking back to comps of what their neighbor's house sold in 2022 or mistakenly in 2021, and they think that's what they're going to get, and they start there. They're adamant about it, and eventually the real estate agent probably is like, hey, this is what your home's actually worth right now. So minimum price to get in the neighborhood right now is $825,000. We will talk about that home later in the video. Maximum $5.3 million. Beautiful spot. We will also talk about that home later in the video. The average is 1.833159. That's actually pretty high for Glendale. That number normally sits in the 1.5 to 1.6 range. So we got a few higher priced tickets on the market right now. Average days on market for these homes is 42. You're typically going to see that number between 30 and 45. When that number starts jumping into 60, that's when sellers start getting weary. They get sick of open houses. They get sick of not being able to live their life. They want to move on and get on with their life, especially as summer starts to come to a close. So you could see more price drops as that number increases. If we take a quick look into August of 2022, in Glendale, we had 49 homes sell at 103% clip, meaning 3% over the list price. That's just a very mundane number right there, because 3% over just means a couple of bids. The home was listed for, $1 million, and they offer 3% over the list price. So nothing to worry about there. We will not get back to 49 homes from a year-over-year perspective. Why? Because there's only 48 available. So that's obviously impossible. But let's get into the most important part. If you're somebody who's looking for a home right now, which is last month, because the most recent statistics are the most relevant. Let's go. All right, so let's get into the most recent statistics. This is vital if you're a home buyer, because it tells you exactly what you can anticipate if you're looking in Glendale right now. It's going to give you a little bit of insight as well if you're a homeowner in Glendale, see what your house is doing from an appreciation standpoint. You're not going to have the monster gains you have in 2021. You never will again. You're not going to have the big gains you saw in 2022. But statistically, because of the low inventory, homes are technically appreciating right now. So you'll get a little bit of jump. So last month, we saw 36 homes sell at 105% clip. So 5% over the list price. So we're still getting a little bit of bidding on the homes that are attractive and selling. Low end was a $765,000 home that sold for $30K under market. So the home was listed at $795,000, sold for $765,000, so $30K under, which kind of tells me on the lower end, on the back end, there might be some opportunities there. There wasn't crazy competition for that home. So if you're somebody who's barely being able to get into the neighborhood, maybe not the best time to buy at a 7% interest rate. But if you're going to have to make that move and you're really adamant about making that move, there might not be the competition that's going to drive up the price, which you also cannot afford. The maximum last month was $2.625 million. That home sold for $26K over the list price. Pretty typical for the high-end stuff. They usually get a bump over the list price. The average sale was $1.500444. So like I mentioned in the first segment, in Glendale, we typically see that average price at 1.5, 1.6. So what that means, as I mentioned prior, is, the homes right now available for sale. We could see more price drops coming. That number sits at 25% at 12 homes right now. I anticipate that there might be some more on the horizon. Average days on market is 17. That's pretty low. We normally see that number between 20 and 30 for the homes that sold. Obviously, there was a few homes that came out of the market and jumped off after that first weekend of open houses, a realtor's dream. If we compare that to July of 2022, we had 25 homes sell at 107% clip. So not a lot of homes sold in July of 22, 7% over the list price, which is fine, but that's a 44% increase year over year. That is the best month I have seen year over year as far as an increase goes anywhere on the east side this year. So Glendale had a hot July. Homes were selling. I mean, July is usually a good time to get moved in. Because you get moved in, you get settled in before the school year if you got kids and all that kind of good stuff. So a nice little increase there. We'll probably hit the brakes when we get into August, as we saw from the numbers in the front segment. But let's jump over to a few homes that have caught my eye so I can try and find you some value in this very tough market. All right, homes that have caught my eye. What I do in this segment, I try and prop homes up. I'm not here to rag on homes. I don't want to hurt other realtors. More importantly, I don't want to hurt someone who's trying to sell their home and just make some revenue or get on with their life. So I try and stay positive in this segment. I'm going to get into you the entry level so you can see what it takes from a minimum perspective to get into the neighborhood. I'm going to highlight my favorite play. I'm a finance guy. It's about the numbers for me, especially in today's market. I want to find value, and that's what we look for in the favorite plays. And then I'm going to talk about the top end because it's always fun to see what the most expensive home looks like, what it grows for, and all of the stuff involved with that. So we'll start on the entry-level side. It's 1007 San Rafael Avenue. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 840 square feet, listed for $825,000. As we saw in the last segment, there's not crazy demand on the low end of things. This sits in Fremont Park. The lot's 3151, so not bad in regard to that. $982 per square feet. On the low end, especially anything under 2 million, especially something under 1 million, I want that square footage number to be between 400 and 700. So 982 is a little bit on the higher end. If you see from the pictures here, this home sits right in between two overlooking apartment complexes. So that is interesting. I'm not sure how I'd feel about it. Maybe a better canopy situation, a little bit more privacy, but then you're blocking out the sun. It's an iffy situation in regards to that. Maybe an opportunity to, let this home appreciate over time, because obviously I'm sure there's some interest from apartment complex builders. And once they start getting back into the game, maybe there's some good offers coming your way if you get into this house. So that's where I would be intrigued, and there'd be some more market research and work with your agent. If you're not working with someone currently, happy to help out. Let's jump into favorite home on the market right now. It's 606 Glendale Place. It's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,889 square feet. It's listed for just under 1.5 at 1.499 million. This is a Spanish charmer. First thing I love, sits in a cul-de-sac. You always love cul-de-sacs. Less traffic coming through, less violence, less everything, a little safer, so you get your family into a cul-de-sac, always a little bit better perspective, just checks an extra box. One other thing I love about it, compared to all the homes available in Glendale, this has one of the biggest lots. It's over 10,000. So that gives you opportunities for ADUs, for pools, for all the things that you might want to do. Maybe an expansion of the home as well. And this number, like I mentioned, per square foot, $518. That is incredible. That's exactly where we want to sit. Fours is almost too good to be true, and the fives is a great opportunity. This home just became available for sale on the 20th of July, so I anticipate it goes quick. But if you're looking to get out into Glendale, this is an amazing home. It's got a little pool in the backyard, which is nice. That could probably be expanded upon. There's a nice 2-car garage. Parking in LA is always a mess. You want to make sure you have opportunities there, especially if you're dropping $1.5 million. So this house is the cream of the crop in my perspective. If I'm going out, good price per square foot, nice home, little Spanish home. I'm into the Spanish design, so that's that. Let's jump over finally to the top dog in the neighborhood. It's 305 West Kenneth Avenue. It's a 5-bedroom, 6-bath, over 6,100 square feet, and it's listed for $5.3 million. $868 per square foot. That's actually a pretty good number. When you get into the higher end, that number starts to jump, right? I talked about it a little bit, is that I want the number between 4 and 7. When you get into the higher end, usually you have nicer amenities, all the kind of good things that go with that. So you see that number typically even jump into the $1,000 per square foot. So I'm happy with 868. The lot here, 52,274. So monstrous lot. You can do anything you want to do. It's 1.2 acres. It's a Mediterranean home, so beautiful home. And there's actually a 499 square foot guest house in the back. Very interesting because everybody these days wants to make that guest house labeled as an ADU because everyone's trying to deal with how hard home affordability is right now. So by them just listing it as guest house was refreshing to me because I just like to see the words guest house, even though technically it could be an ADU, with the correct permitting and maybe you supplement some income. But if you're spending, over $5 million, a 500 square foot back guest house is not going to be bringing in you enough revenue to really help with the mortgage payment. So this year in Glendale, we've had 2 homes sell for over $5 million. They're both in like the same neighborhood as this home in the North Hills, kind of Brockmont area. So we'll see. There is some action on the high end this year, above $5 million in Glendale. So I anticipate this home to get some attraction, and it's a beautiful spot. I'm a fan. Thank you so much for watching the video. We do this every single month for almost every neighborhood on the east side. We're doing Pasadena, Silver Lake, Eagle Rock, Highland Park, Glendale, La Cañada, El Sereno, Cypress Park. The list goes on and on. So like and subscribe to the channel if you are so inclined. If you're somebody who's looking to purchase a home on the east side of Los Angeles or sell your home, I am happy to help out with you. Reach out to me. You can send me a direct message online, or all of my phone numbers are listed. Even if you're somebody who's hesitant with 7% interest rates, that puts us in the same boat. It always helps to start preparing for future opportunities because you don't want to miss the boat there. We will tread lightly. We will look for value, and we will get it done. I also do a ton of other videos. I get into the schools. I get into, the restaurants in the neighborhood. I get into the attractions in the neighborhood. I do some other fun videos like quick cribs. So once again, like and subscribe if you are so inclined. Have a great day. Be kind.
Yeah.